What do women actually expect guys to do at bars? Story 1. I am a woman and I have for sure dated/hooked up with guys I met in bars. The common thread amongst all the men, aside from the ones I met in college that was just man dance clothes smell good take back to cave, was that they weren't trying to hit on me. We just struck up a conversation about the beers on tap, or some dickwad being a dickwad on the other end of the bar, or what karaoke song he should sing next. Maybe they did approach me with intent, I have no way of knowing, but from my perspective a man started talking to me like a person talking to a person, and as we talked we developed chemistry. We laughed, we maybe brushed arms or whatever. I'd make sure to touch his arm or chest at some point to show I'm comfy with him. At some point he'll say something very non-committal like, "Hey, I'm going out back to smoke, do you smoke? Oof, so loud here, want to see if there's a quieter corner we can talk, etc." Then I can join if I like. If I don't like, he's friendly about it and maybe later in the evening we run into each other again. None of this involves any pressure, any sexual talk, or intentional contact, aside from a back of the arm "excuse me" if he needs to get my attention, from him. Never ever try to trap or corner her into talking to you. A woman will remember a man who respects her boundaries and doesn't waste her time, and you two might absolutely run into each other again, especially if you both frequent that bar or neighborhood. That's it. That's what I expect a guy to do at a bar, take it or leave it. Story 2. An honest answer: we expect men to talk to us and try to buy us drinks. We expect men to not listen or take a hint that we're not interested. We expect men to get drunk and aggressive, and we always know there's a possibility of getting targeted by some random dude that's made it his night's mission to take us home with him. We expect all this because it's our most common experience, and that's why many women have an attitude and her guard up in bars. It's not a safe place, and yes, there are women who are looking to hook up, but they're the rare exception. If what you're really asking is what do women honestly want from men in bars, that's a different answer. Women want men to have their own reasons for being there besides picking up women. We want men to understand that if we are interested, they'll know. We want men to accept that rejection is a part of the deal, and if they can't handle their feelings, they should just leave. We want men to know that we do not have to speak or smile or be nice to them if we don't want to, and the response to this is never more engagement. If a woman is in that headspace, leave her alone. We are not conquests, and men are not entitled to our time, energy, or bodies, even if men decide that buying drinks is their in. With all of that being said, and with the understanding and common sense that bars are a terrible place to try and meet women, if you're out and doing your own thing with your own friends and you see someone you'd really like to talk to, it's still okay to do that. Say hello, check the vibe, ask if you can buy a drink, fine. Stay and chat for a few minutes and then go back to your friends. Keep an eye out from across the room, because if she's interested, you'll get eye contact and smiles, and if you smile back and are open and pleasant, she will find her way to you or wave you over, which is your opportunity to engage in a dance or a game or whatever activities that bar has to offer. Trust the process and take the win or loss like a gentleman. Story 3. Be fun, easygoing, and easy to get rid of. If you're waiting in line at the bar at the same time as a woman you're interested in, smile and crack a self-deprecating joke. Any suggestions what a lightweight like me should order, or if they bump into you, oh no worries, I probably wouldn't notice me either. Then gauge the reaction. If it's cold or negative, don't pursue more conversation with them. If it's positive, chat away until you get your drinks, then smile and say enjoy your evening as you head back to your friends. You've now established yourself as fun, easygoing, and easy to get rid of. There's a playful mood when you're around, and you're not pushy or scary. When you're around, women can focus on having fun instead of worrying how they're going to get some creep to leave them alone. This can be the foundation for further positive interactions as the evening progresses. If you pass by the table of the woman you interacted with previously, smile at her and see if she smiles back. Or try to time it so you end up in the bar queue along with her again. If she still seems positive, crack another joke in passing or refer back to the chat you had previously if you can. The drink you recommended was great, and now my whole table wants one. Are you a regular here or just really good at picking winners? Again, gauge the reaction. If they're souring on chatting with you, let it go. If not, then chat away. And that's basically it. Make small, lighthearted comments that lets them opt in or out of interacting with you, and make it clear that it's no big deal either way. Then the second or third time you interact, if they keep opting in, keep chatting with them for longer, but keep being aware of their body language. If they start leaning out or smiling less, it's better to eject and go back to your friends than to force them to get rid of you. Story 4. The bar is probably one of the only places in the world I've ever actually wanted to be approached by men, and it's been largely disappointing. If I'm dancing with a group of girlfriends, maybe it isn't the best time to approach me. However, if I've sat at the bar alone periodically and looked around and swirled my drink, all dressed up, I've been keen for some interaction. I've been approached by men on public transit, at cafes, just walking around the street, many spaces I've occupied, just trying to get from point A to B during a commute. Often the approach has felt unsafe and has been unwanted. A particularly bad approach has been a man or group of men following me in a car and circling the block a few times. It's astonishing how inappropriate that can be. That being said, when I'm dressed up and sitting in a public venue and trying to have a fun evening, I wouldn't mind a friendly and respectful introduction. No nagging, no belligerent leaning across the bar and yelling into my ear. Just a pleasant offer for some company and a nice chat. Story 5. Gay dude here. I will never go to a straight club again. I say this with love, but y'all are fucking wild and gross about your bar culture. I also have far less sympathy for girls in relation to certain types of sexism because I see them play every side of the field when women attend gay clubs and expect, or worse, demand, the same treatment. Such as getting to skip the line, getting priority service at the bar, being able to get on a stage/box on the dance floor, not tipping/wanting free drinks, and not expecting the same standards for liquor laws because they're hot, drunk girls in straight clubs can be falling over in their heels and it's often okay because it's funny or they're hot or something. In a gay bar, it might be funny but you're also just being a mess and you need to go. Also, do not get on stage with the go-go dancers, or during the drag show, and don't take over the center of the dance floor, etc., etc., etc. What I find the most offensive is the culture of male-on-male violence in the straight community. In my nearly 20 years of going to gay bars, I have never once seen a fist fight over a boy. I've seen fights, but they're extremely uncommon and most of the time stop at the verbal. Every single time I've been to a straight club I've seen a fist fight, and 90% of the time a girl is behind it. Either guys are fighting over her, or she's egging her man on. As a gay dude, this is the part of your culture that blows my mind. As a gay dude who is short, I've had guys pick a fight with me every single time I've gone to a straight club. Not a bar, or a pub, but a club. It's because I'm short and slight and don't seem very dangerous. It's like a rite of passage or BDE, big dick energy, to beat someone up at a bar to impress chicks. I would be remiss if I didn't hold the women accountable who go to these clubs and profit from this type of abuse. Fuck you. Stop encouraging men to fight for your honor, stop skipping the lines, stop turning the other cheek when men fight out their petty heteronormative squabbles. It isn't natural. Story 6. As a bouncer who likes observing human behaviors, I think I'm in a unique position to answer this. Women at bars just want to be left alone in peace, unless that's not what they're into, in which case they want a man who can understand subtle clues and read between the lines, unless they're not like that, in which case they want a confident, straightforward approach, unless they aren't into that, in which case they want a man who can simply listen, unless that's not what they're after, in which case they just want to hear about you, unless they just want free drinks, unless they're more independent, in which case they want a guy who will let them buy their own drinks but keep up, unless they're out with friends, in which case you'll need to woo them too, unless they're the jealous type, in which case you don't want to show too much interest in their friends at all, unless they enjoy the chase, in which case it's better not to show interest at all, unless you don't find the perfect balance, in which case they want you to show a little interest but not too much, unless they're more interested in being entertained, in which case you need to prove yourself by dancing with them. It's quite simple, really. But bullshit aside, everyone is different. Same goes for men. Be yourself, and if it works, it works. People tell each other to put on all sorts of acts, but in the end I believe that people who are truly compatible will click by being themselves.